Senator Adam Schiff facing not one but two separate federal criminal investigations. Could it lead to his downfall and removal from office? Plus, Donald Trump says he may send federal law enforcement agents into California cities. We've got a list of the cities he's targeting and why, and it's not over immigration. All of that and more coming up. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state legislator. We've got several stories I want to give you updates on, including our efforts to stop Gavin Newsom's redistricting scheme, his special election that he's calling November 4th to try to manipulate the lines of California congressional districts to eliminate as many Republican seats as possible. I've got an update on our efforts to stop him by basically exposing the fact that what he's trying to do is illegal. And we are asking for a legal ruling to try to stop Newsom and the Democrats. More on that in just a moment. But I do want to get into some of the other legal questions surrounding U.S. Senator Adam Schiff. Finally, he is getting Schiff. That's right, Shifty Schiff. Finally, he's getting held accountable for his corruption and his transgressions. I just want to get a real quick plug in for our growing movement here at Reform California. We are building a statewide movement to take back California from the insanity of the far left. This is the grassroots revolt. We're not going to be refugees and moving into other states. No, we are going to be rebels behind enemy lines here in California. We want our California back, and we can get it back with your help. So go to the website, reformcalifornia.org, reformcalifornia.org. Sign up at the bottom of the website so that you're tethered into our growing statewide movement. Plus, while you're there, please support this podcast and our campaigns like voter ID, recruiting, supporting, and endorsing candidates so we can break the Democrat supermajority. All those campaigns need your active volunteer participation and your financial support. So sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution, even $5. It's gas in our tank. Let's start out first with Adam Shifty Schiff. He is he's one of the worst senators, and that says a lot because he's got a lot of competition of bad actors in Washington. But this guy is corrupt to the core. He is a liar. He is absolutely unconscionable. But California Democrat voters, they put him into office, and he is our U.S. Senator, one of them. Well, now he is facing two, not one, but two separate federal criminal inquiries. First is one that was brought a couple weeks ago, but he's finally facing a criminal investigation for alleged mortgage fraud violations. This is where he falsified, allegedly, bank documents to get favorable loan terms by claiming that his primary domicile was in Washington, D.C. When he bought his $1 million home back there. I guess he rents like a Airbnb or an apartment here in California. So he has some, thread of a tie to California. He's supposed to have that as his primary domicile, but he's claiming on bank documents that his primary domicile is outside of California, which would make him ineligible as a U.S. Senator. And it's mortgage fraud. Not only would he forfeit his office if found guilty, but he would also basically be charged with the fraud. So that investigation is underway. Now, a separate investigation has been launched. A Democrat whistleblower tells the FBI that Adam Schiff approved classified information leaks, all to target Trump. It was an intelligence staffer who worked for House Democrats, and he actually called behavior treasonous and illegal. It is quite illegal for a member of the House Intelligence Committee to share secret, top secret, classified, confidential information, whether it's anonymously with a reporter or the members of the public. You're not allowed to share that information. But that is the allegation. And FBI Director Kash Patel also posted on X that they are looking into this. They're undertaking an investigation, and everybody knows it's Adam Schiff. So these two investigations are underway. Schiff is in the crosshairs, and boy, he deserves it. It would be so fitting to finally hold him accountable for his arrogance, his corruption, his lies, his politicization of his office. This guy's never done anything of any value for California. It's all been politics. No one's been helped in California from his service in office. He's been helped as his blind ambition continues to drive him, and he's engaging in without any bounds. So two separate federal criminal investigations. Who knows? There may be more coming down the pipe. The question is raised: didn't Biden pardon Schiff? Well, yeah, the auto pen pardoned Schiff on January 21st. In the final moments, hours, minutes of Biden's administration, he handed out pardons. Fauci, I don't know if Clinton got one. Maybe she was left off the Christmas card list. But I do know that Schiff and Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger got pardons. The Biden crime family got pardons as well. But Schiff's pardon was only related to his participation in the January 6th committee. The pardon was very narrow in terms of its applicability. And he was pardoned for whatever he did on that committee. Now, first and foremost, I don't think that the pardons are legitimate. I think the auto pen did it. I think staffers did it. I don't think Biden knew what he was doing. I think he's a vegetable. But let's set that aside because that's kind of hard to prosecute and vindicate yourself. But reading the pardon, even if you're accepting that the pardon is legitimate, the plain English of the pardon only relates to the January 6th committee. The allegations here relate to a mortgage, which has nothing to do with his official duties, and which fall outside the pardon. And the allegations relate to his misconduct of sharing intel from the House Intelligence Committee, nothing to do with January 6th. So here we have a very clear legal exposure for Adam Schiff, and I'm very excited to see where these investigations lead. Second, speaking of crime, you've got President Trump sending in federal law enforcement and the Guard into Washington, D.C. Finally, he's federalizing the D.C. police, putting federal resources in because local officials there are inept and incompetent when it comes to the rampant crime that's happening there. And some of the crime is actually amongst their own ranks. Here's and this is so fitting, a D.C. council member charged with corruption and facing his trial coming up, who literally took cash in the form of bribes, says that D.C. leaders are responsible. They don't need federal interference. It's a well-run city. There's not a lot of crime here. Says the guy who's alleged to have committed major corrupt crimes. So fitting. The criminals. Oh, we don't need law enforcement here. Let the natives run wild and engage in crime, and let the politicians get whatever bribes. It's completely clear that D.C. has been mismanaged for decades. Now, the reason why Trump has a very strong legal basis for what he's doing in D.C. is the premise of government. It does not have its own, autonomy. So Trump is on solid, unequivocal legal footing to do what he's doing in Washington, D.C. to make sure that it's a safe city for the government, the federal government, to conduct its business. But he's now saying, Trump is, that he is going to target other cities with rampant crime. And these are all blue cities. He specifically named Los Angeles here in California, Baltimore, Oakland, New York, Chicago as cities that are bad, very bad, without offering specific reasons why. Axios, please. Do we need to list the reasons why? Maybe we should put some Axios woke soy boy reporters in the middle of, oh, I don't know, crime infested Chicago or crime infested LA. Let you guys kind of walk back to wherever you slithered out of. These are bad areas. Crime and grime, rampant homelessness, lots of crime. And Trump is basically saying enough's enough. Now, while he has clear legal authority in Washington, D.C., it's a little bit more of a thread, a little more tenuous in these other cities that actually are, proper states. Not impossible. But what I love about this is that Trump is basically jamming up these Democrat leaders in these cities because when he says, hey, I think the crime is out of control there, we need to do something. And if they're not going to do anything after decades of being in power and creating a situation, I'm going to do it by coming with that federal law enforcement. What that does is cause the Democrats to say, no, stay out. There's no crime problem. And all the residents are like, oh, no. Actually, there is a crime problem. It really jams them up because it automatically, the Democrats default to there is no crime problem. Don't believe your lying eyes. So, the media will continue to say, well, crime is down a little bit in these areas. From record highs, it's still unacceptably high. You're still not safe in these cities, and people deserve and demand better. So we're tracking this. I think it's quite interesting. And I think it's great politics for Trump to be saying, here are the cities that I'm thinking about coming in and federalizing. Even if he doesn't do it, it really highlights the problem and creates the contrast between the Democrats and the Republicans. Let's turn our attention to our fight against redistricting. Gavin Newsom's corrupt redistricting scheme. He's going to be calling this a November 4th election, which means ballots will arrive in the mailbox on or about October 1st. As a state legislator, I'm actively trying to stop this. But look, let me just say, these are criminals that we're dealing with. They don't care about the Constitution of the state. They don't care about federal or state law. They don't care about what's right. For them, might makes right, and they're going to push forward with $250 million unnecessary, costly special election at your expense. We need to mobilize our campaign to stop them at the ballot box. I don't think we're going to be able to stop them in the courtroom, at least not up front. The cleanest way to stop them is at the ballot box. So, once again, as we gear up our campaign, and we don't have a lot of time because ballots hit mailboxes on October 1st, I need you to activate. If you've never activated before, go to the website, reformcalifornia.org. Again, if you're not involved, sign up. This way, as when those ballots arrive in each community in California, we can activate you. We can let you know where the rallies are, where the door hangers are, how you can get the word out to your friends and family. You'll get the message points. You'll get a list of voters in your neighborhood that haven't returned their ballots. And remember, special elections are all about turnout. We turn out more of our voters than they turn out. We win, and this is a winnable fight. Polling shows that Newsom's numbers are really low on his redistricting corrupt scheme. But we need to mobilize people statewide. So please go on that website, sign up at the bottom. First name, last name, email, phone, and zip code, plus general contribution. Here's what I want to share with you today. I promised you yesterday, and that is we issued a legal request for a legal opinion, an immediate legal opinion, directed to the Office of Legislative Counsel. This is the lawyer for the state legislature. And if the lawyer for the state legislature says, hey, what you're about to do is not legal, put the brakes on. Now, she's appointed by Democrats. She serves as a Democrat appointee. I'm just papering this, okay? I don't think she's going to do her professional duty of warning and advising that this is unconstitutional and illegal. But check out the full letter on my website, DeMayoAssembly.org. DeMayoAssembly.org. It's our top story there. And it basically lays out 3 clear violations of both federal, state, or state constitutional provisions with Newsom's redistricting scheme. Remember, he's trying to eliminate, nullify the Citizens Independent Nonpartisan Redistricting Commission and give the power back to the politicians to manipulate the lines of their district, their election districts, so that they can protect themselves and gain a partisan advantage. The result is we lose fair elections. We lose competitive elections in California. And the districts will look nothing like communities of interest. They won't be compact. They won't be natural. They won't be understandable. They'll be literally Franken districts. So violation 1, state constitution prohibits mid-cycle redistricting, as does federal and state case law. We cite the language in the state constitution that's very clear that we can do this on the years ending in one each decade. We also have Assembly versus Duke-Majan, case law in the state that says that you can't redistrict mid-cycle. We also have federal law that does not permit mid-cycle redistricting unless the maps are found to be non-compliant with federal legal standards. Right now, the state of California is not on notice officially that their maps are in violation of federal law. So we can't do mid-cycle redistricting without a legal justification. The state constitution prohibits it. Second, the state constitution prohibits any action by the legislature. It says clearly that only the commission shall approve maps. Now, the legislature, we took that out of their hands. But here they are voting next week on maps. Of their oath to uphold the Constitution. I mean, this is an open shut case. There's no murder mystery here. They're killing the state constitution. Third, that the state constitution clearly prohibits gerrymander. It says, this is language currently in the state district shall not be drawn for the purpose of favoring or discriminating against any incumbent political party or political candidate. They are absolutely, clearly state goal of producing maps to eliminate Republicans. Can't get more clear on a crime than that. They are violating their oath again. So you violate your oath. What's the consequence? Right now, there is no prosecution for violating the oath. Hopefully, the voters get it. But a court of competent jurisdiction can stop this illegal, unconstitutional redistricting scheme. And so we're working with a coalition to advance these legal arguments. The first thing we wanted to do is lay out a legal case. Officially, shot across the bow, a warning. Don't do what you're about to do because you're going to get sued. And we believe the law is on our side, the Constitution's on our side, and let's create the stench of corruption, shall we? Because that's what this is. It is corruption, and it deserves a stench. That's why we are making loud noise about the illegality, the unconstitutionality of what Gavin Newsom is trying to do. Finally, I make the point in this letter that only a citizens initiative can change Article 21, which is the citizens initiative dealing with redistricting. But the legislature has literally been removed from the process. They cannot now reinsert themselves to try to manipulate a process that voters have already decided, hey, the legislature should have no role in this. The only people that can change it now are citizens through a citizens initiative. That's the proper venue for dealing with it, not the legislature. Sound off in the comments what your thoughts are. Should Trump come into California and use federal authorities to take over law enforcement in our cities to deal with rising crime? What are your thoughts on Adam Schiff? Is it an open shut case on either of these issues that he's being investigated on? Sound off in the comments below. And again, please go to the website, reformcalifornia.org, and join the fight. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMike. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.